Bernier-Cormier's book, Entre, Rive, and Shore. I benefited from having a mother who was a French immersion teacher, which really helped Dominique in this case, because this book is kind of not half in it. It's more English than French, but it's kind of balancing between these two languages, poem by poem. And I'm gonna let Dominique speak to it, but balancing and mixing these languages and figuring out what to do with these two languages. And the most incredible poems in the book are mixing the two languages in a way that maximizes their effectiveness. So words that are more profound, more communicable and profound in one language are being used, and then switching back to English for a word that will be more efficient and effective for that word. And I just was astonished by this book, both because it's so interesting and innovative in what it does, but also because it has a narrative that runs through it, a personal narrative that is very engaging and moving and thought-provoking and tied to history and the history of this country. It's just an incredible accomplishment. And as I say, I'll let Dominique speak to it more. Dominique Bernier-Cormier is a Quebecois and Acadian poet whose work has won the Fiddlehead's Ralph Gustafson Contest, the Malahat's Open Season Award, and ARC's Poem of the Year. His most recent book, Entre, Rive, and Shore, was a finalist for the Dorothy Livesay Prize and won the Fred Cogswell Award. There we go, it's in the bio. He teaches grade 9 English in Vancouver. Let's please hear for Dominique.
Okay. Is this how tall you are? What? We're the same height. Okay, hi everyone, thanks for being here. What a beautiful evening. Thanks to so many things. Thank you to Janet. Huge thank you for Janet for organizing everything, managing, running the prize. Thank you so much to Rob, who I feel for the last 10 years has just said good things about me, which is incredible. And for having obviously impeccable taste in books. And congrats to Andrea for coming in second. And thank you for being here. I usually spend so much of my time in these readings sort of introducing the book that I run out of time to actually read from it. So I'm going to try not to do that, but there is a story that I need to tell. So like Rob said, this book is bilingual. It has poems in French and English, poems in my own weird blend of French and English, translations, self-translations, that kind of stuff. And it's a book that's also about bilingualism and about translation and self-translation and about duality and split identities and belonging and home and exile. And the reason, or part of the reason why I'm so interested in those particular themes is because I'm Acadian. And Acadian people are the descendants of French settlers who settled on Mi'kma'ki, or what we now call New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. And Acadian identity is really defined by this huge historical event called the deportation of the Acadians, where in 1755 the British sort of took control of Acadia and looked around and thought there were just way too many French people there, and decided to gather them up and split up the families and deport over 80% of the Acadian population to different British colonies, Massachusetts, Virginia, the Carolinas, Georgia, etc. So, all that to say that Acadian identity is sort of defined by this tension, historical tension and conflict between French and English, and nowadays very much defined by this tension between the French and English language. And not only a tension, but an interaction between those two languages. But my family is from New Brunswick, so clearly we did not get deported. And the reason why we didn't get deported, and thank you, Rob, for not ruining the story this time, not beating me to the punch. The reason why we didn't get deported is because my ancestor Pierre Cormier supposedly escaped a British jail by wearing his wife's dress and just walking out of the jail. Supposedly. It's a family legend. We don't know if it's true. Who cares? It's great. It's cool. I love it. It's sick. And so I take this story as a sort of starting point to think about all these things. That being said, tonight I'm going to read something I don't usually read from the book. I'm going to read a series of self-portraits as historical figures that I think have something to tell me about these things. So the first one is called Self-Portrait as Sainte Bernadette de Lourdes, who was the little girl, 12-year-old girl, who saw visions of the Mother Mary, of the Virgin Mary in Lourdes. And I'm interested in Sainte Bernadette because she spoke a language called Occitan, which is a blend of sort of Spanish and French. And she also, I guess, like crossed thresholds in different ways, which I'm interested in. I speak the language of borders and visions, Occitan, a hybrid tongue, a missing link in the fossil record between Spanish and French. My speech a dark cave to them until a word they recognize flashes its lightning and they flinch, shocked at the expanse it reveals, the unseen depth of me, the cathedral ceilings. Of course they didn't believe me, little cleaning girl, when I told them I saw un petito damisello in a blue belt at the cave with 2 gold roses at her feet. They called me either half-witted or duplicitous, either a dreamer or a liar. A man with a face like marble sat me down in a room, suddenly both too big and too small. It told me to cut it, that I was not chosen. That secret words did not reveal themselves to me, their bright petals shimmering at my dirty feet, told me to unsew the hope I had sown in the hearts of asthmatic blacksmiths, that femurs did not heal faster than sunsets, told me with his throat of marble that I would not go back to the grotto, to kneel in the blue mud again and cry, my doubt suddenly dislocated from me like a shoulder and pulsing at my side. But what choice did I have? I went back and crossed the threshold. The world split for me, encore et encore, una y otra vez.